Ooh, we're live.
We are live. Look at that. And let me make sure I hit these other buttons. Hello, Midwest Elevation. Thank you for joining us today. If you're here, give us a little hi, hello in the comments. As we get things rolling, let me share my screen and also make sure that we are indeed where you'd think. I'm zooming all day long.
And what are you sharing?
I am sharing.
Oh, look at that.
It's beautiful face.
Oh, I'm double. Ooh. Just couldn't get enough of me.
I couldn't resist.
Look at that's me. That's so cool.
Isn't it?
I should have worn that shirt. Then I could have totally been like the double mint gum commercial from years ago. Oh, wait, that means we're telling everybody how old we are. That's okay.
That's so okay.
How old I am.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm glad for every year I'm here. I am glad.
Right? Yeah, totally.
So I will, yes, that is a thing. All right. I just want to make sure that I can that I cannot hear. I can see us. Look, we're there. And hopefully you are too. If you are tuning in live in our Midwest Elevation Facebook group, welcome to our conversations to raise the collective conscious or consciousness, depending on your choice. You could say it either way. We are here today with Misha, and I am so excited because she brings me so much joy and has worked very hard to instill that joy in others as well.
Aw.
Yes, it's beautiful. So I'm going to read your little bio just because because it's a beautiful.
I have to read it too.
Right? Because I don't have it memorized.
I would think I had it memorized, but I think sometimes when you write it down, it comes out a little bit more eloquently.
It does. Yes.
Right,
also, if you're joining us, I hope that you will giggle along with us because
yes,
this is how Misha and I conduct all our business.
It's a good thing I'm wearing layers. I'm going to have to start taking some off. I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't use that fan. It's really cold here, but today I might have to turn it on. This is what Renee does to me. No, sorry. Okay, my partner's watching. No,
different show. No. Okay, so Misha is a transformational life coach working with LBQT identified women to create or restore their sense of self, develop self-love, and move from isolation to developing healthy connection with self and within the community. She is also an academic life coach working with middle and high schoolers. You can see why Misha and I are friends. She has spent many years tuning her own heartstrings and creating balance in her life and loves empowering others to do the same. She raised 5 children, has a graduate degree, and 30 plus years of teaching experience. I will also mention she's a coach. She's got some fabulous programs. We'll get into all that. And I'll put links for you all to get, so don't worry. It'll all be there for you. But let me just say, an official welcome to you. I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, it's the same. I'm seeing it different on my screen than it's showing up, but I just wanted
You're
to.
You're not supposed to tell people that. No, I'm just kidding. Tell them everything. Just tell them everything. Be transparent, Renee.
I feel like, I am. Sometimes my mom tells me I'm too transparent.
I don't like the word too. T-O, take it out. Take it out. We don't use the word too here.
Well, not only that, my kids, I'll give them the rundown of I have to go to the bathroom and then I have to make this phone call. And they're like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah, I guess. Okay. So the only time TOO is acceptable is with TMI, too much information. Although my own students would say, what about too much homework? I'm like, well, I don't know about that one. We have to negotiate, but yeah. Yes. Anyways, here we are. I mentioned one thing.
Please.
So for those watching, listening, maybe enjoying, maybe not yet enjoying, we are not a clique. You're able to join us to laugh and to play. But I am also trilingual. So my clients can be French speaking, Spanish speaking, English speaking. I can't speak English, but I'm working on that one. But so that's something that I really like people to know is if they want me to do presentations for them in another language, those are the 3 languages that I can work in and also present in. And then finally, I wanted to just mention that when you talked about developing connection with self and within community, the purpose is then for a lot of these women that I work with, and sometimes I work with men and teens and things like that, but is to be able to walk into healthy, intimate relationships, not only with themselves, but with others. Some people who I work with have been heartbroken. They don't think they'll ever get into a relationship ever again. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I added that little piece in there.
That's beautiful.
There's hope.
Yeah.
There's hope.
Thank you. Yes, lots of hope. And so true. I do want to start out because I love the way that you use the terms tuning the heartstrings. So you've talked about tuning your own heartstrings, and you've talked about, you know, your mentorship and your programs are created with that in mind, tuning the heartstrings. So tell me a little bit about what that means for you, how you got there, and what that means for your clients.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with a joke, which you're going to laugh at because I appreciate complimentary laughs. And then I'm going to tell the real story.
Okay.
Now, actually, I'm not even going to tell you which one's real and which one's not real. And you have to decide. No, actually, okay. So I was going to say, well, I'm still going to say it. But so I started learning guitar last year and I can't tune a guitar for the life of me. So I figured I can tune heartstrings. It's so much easier. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I laugh at my own jokes. So anyways, okay. The heartstring tuning. So I am a singer and songwriter. I've always relied on other people to help me create my music. I will say, this is how I want it to sound. And I would sing it and I would play it in a way that they could try to figure out.
Oh my God. Yes. We are so, like, there are so many things that we haven't talked about.
I know.
That's literally how I've written and produced any type of music. I needed other people. Same way.
So last year though, has it been a year and a half ago, I decided my band's not going everywhere with me. Like people are doing different things. And thank God I decided before the pandemic. So I started to take the guitar lessons and I went to a music camp and I went to another music camp. And in that time, I've been able to write my own songs to my own chord progressions. And so, at the whole time, I'm also building my business, transitioning. I told you I'm having trouble with English. Transitioning out of classroom teaching, or even I'd already gone out of classroom teaching. I was a one-to-one teacher in independent study. But the idea was, instead of depending upon other people to validate, to do things for me, I started to do it for myself. And that is the core of what I coach my clients. And so heartstring healer is what I call myself, because I'm helping you heal your heartstrings. But heartstring tuning and exploration is what I do with people, because it's really important, in my opinion, to bring the heart and the head and the heart. Actually, I think I was just teased the other day by my girlfriend that you're not able to chew gum and do those kinds of things at the same time, are you? I don't think so. So the head,
yes,
the heart, and your entire body and spirit together. And when they're out of tune, it's a mess. We feel chaotic and frenetic sometimes. But if we can put them together and align them and create kind of a balance between them all, it's nice. It's like a really smooth, you're going to go up and down, and you're going to have struggles, but you're going to stay connected, right? As opposed to
right. That was my last week.
Yeah. Well, and with some of my students, I've had to literally say, okay, let's stand up and wiggle now. And they're like, wiggle? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And we literally go, we wiggle our whole body out, because it's like, let's get things back in check, right? So, but heartstring tuning, I felt was super important. I was like, I don't know if anybody's ever used this term. It's not going to be popular. People are going to be like, what the heck is that? And, people don't know what something is. They walk away from it, right?
Sure.
But the idea is that we just really start to put ourselves in alignment.
I love that.
But I like the musical concept.
Yes. Well, which is probably also why I love it so much. But it goes deeper than like just having a love of music or like liking music. I mean, music itself is that vibration, right? Like you play the string on a guitar and it's vibrating, and that's the same sort of energetic vibration.
Oops, hold
right? Ooh,
What happened?
I don't know.
I think I clicked something. You're here. I'm here. It's all good. I think I went into the live and it was automatically playing because I wanted to see if there were any comments. And I was like, you know what? That is up to you. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to just like go back to just watching you and being, I'm not going to multitask. I'm going to be here with you.
I've got to hear. I've got to hear. I'll keep an eye on it. If you're there, there's a couple people watching.
Curious minds want to know, Renee. All right. I'm done multitasking. It's back to you.
This is the most fun. I don't even know what I was talking about other than music, but the vibration, right? And the energetic level of the vibration and how it really is. And it's, you know, we talk about attunements, and you get, you know, even with cars, you talk about a tune-up.
Yep.
Right. It's to get things back running the way that they're, you know, supposed to be running and aligned with everything that, you know, it needs to be aligned with, which sometimes we know and sometimes we don't.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
and oftentimes and the other piece that I've discovered is that I can't do it all by myself. Like, even though I learned how to play the guitar, I still have a long way to go. But when I get together with my bands, I love their sound. I would so much rather have their sound than be by myself in that. And so doing my music exploration with others kind of what's the word, spearheaded my desire to remind people that we weren't put on this earth alone.
Right.
You know, and we don't, it's important to have a team, you know, and that's really how the best music is made.
Yeah, oh, I love that. Well, and it's, you know, we often say here in Midwest Elevation, right, doing the inner work to see the outer change, but it's also to, you know, doing the inner work to be able to show up in community and in a group and in a band and in a team as your best self for other people and for yourself, because you can interdependently, exactly, not dependent, right?
Ooh, so not like codependent,
right? Not but I love that you went, you know, first of all, I love the fact that you went to music camps. They have that for adults. I want to do that.
I didn't know either. Actually, I knew, but I never went because I was terrified. And then I knew again, because, you know, we know things lots of different times. Kind of like watching a movie. You watch a movie one time and you say, oh, that was really cool. You watch a second time. Oh, I don't remember that part. Oh, and that part. And look at the way they did that. So yeah, so I realized again that there was a music camp that I found out through my guitar teacher. Yeah, they're all over the place. And it was amazing. I mean, right now, pandemic, they're all virtual, which is not at all as fun, but they're still good. But yeah, I got to go to the California Coast Music Camp, which was not on the coast, by the way. It used to be, but it's and then I went to the Dar Williams Songwriting Retreat on the Hudson River. Yeah, it was incredible. It was really incredible. I actually wrote 3 songs just in 1 week there. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And eventually my albums will come out. I've already written in the last 19 months, I've written 21 songs. So, and I think they're really good.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. No, it doesn't. Everybody should like my songs. I was waiting till you were drinking. You drank too fast.
We didn't have the spit take, right?
I don't have to clean it up. So, hey, drink again. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll stop. All right.
Time ever. You're gonna get some great little nuggets out of our talk today. Okay.
If we can listen to us for our laughter. All right, I'm ready. I'll behave.
Please don't.
Don't. Okay. All right.
Okay. So the other piece, of course, to all this, you know, we talk about self-love and self-care, which is great, and I'm all for it. But I, just as the next person, of course, has, we just have there's a resistance there to that self-love and that self-care. And I know that you, you know, the women that you work with, this is a real focus for that reason, because it's common, but also it's really one of the most profound ways that you can make change, which is sometimes feels counterintuitive to the way we've been brought up. You think, oh, well, I don't like this about me, I should change, versus like,
Yeah. Well, that's why they have the, and everybody knows this analogy, but for some reason, the only time people buy it is when they're on the airplane, right? Put on your oxygen mask first before you help others, because otherwise you're no good to others. Right. Can you imagine putting the oxygen mask on your 3-year-old son or daughter, and then you've run out of oxygen? Your 3-year-old son or daughter is going to be able to put that on you, and nor should it be their responsibility to do so.
Right.
Right. So everybody knows that analogy. Well, there was people who've flown know that analogy.
Right.
And it seems very normal on an airplane, but in real life, on the ground or wherever you are, it still has to be a priority.
Yeah.
Because we're no good to anyone. It's interesting, actually. I don't know, we didn't mention this now, but I think I hold webinars every other week to have a kind of conversation about systemic racism.
Yes.
And most of my panelists are people of color. And I was talking with one that and sometimes I promote their business, sometimes we hire them, whatever their choice is, right? So this one in particular we hired. And I run the webinar with my partner, Jody. And before the actual webinar, I was having a meeting with them just to kind of talk about what we're going to be doing. And I had kind of a meltdown. And they looked at me and said, Misha, you cannot be a good ally if you don't take care of yourself. Are you taking care of yourself? And I'm like, yes, no. Right. But it was a wake-up call because I was doing way too much.
Yeah.
And so it was like, wow, I thought I had to break my back, hurt every muscle in my body, work till I was exhausted to, sleep little or none to be a really good ally. And her words meant so much to me. She's like, no, because then you're going to get irritable and you're going to be mean to somebody. And that's not the kind of ally we want.
Right.
So it's the same thing with our families and our friends and our coworkers. We have to take care of ourselves in order to be the best we can in the face of others and for ourselves.
Right.
But people don't want to invest in that. Like even I never wanted to invest in it for the longest time.
It's
now,
hard.
the two top categories of my budget, comfort and fun.
Ooh.
So I use my money for my naturopath, for my medications, my supplements, for good walking shoes, for my music. I have a category, and those two have to be a priority for me.
That's amazing. It's like, and totally flipped, because you think, well, I can't do, this is the mindset I have. Well, I can't, whatever. I can't take my shower. Whatever it is until this part of my to-do list is done, or I can't sit down and watch this movie because when is the rest of this stuff going to get done? Or
I can't take a walk because I've got to finish the laundry, or
yeah.
And the reality is the more time we take for ourselves, the more time we actually have for others. Yeah. I know it sounds kooky, but it's true.
I know. Yeah.
Not making this shit up. Oh, am I allowed to cuss on this one?
Absolutely, please.
Wait, I am not making
fucking swear.
Well, I don't know. There's lots of different stereotypes about Midwesterners. No, I'm just kidding. I love you all. I only say that because of Renee.
I know. Yeah, you just moved from one coast to another, essentially, right?
I missed all of you. I completely by Midwesterners.
The flyover state.
Yeah.
No, I actually had last year. I did a workshop called "Swearing and Elephants."
Oh.
Yeah, it was all about
elephants who swear.
No, it was about identifying the shit that stands in your way.
Yeah, exactly. The elephants in the room. Yeah, I like that. Swearing and elephants.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to do one that's called Elephant Swearing. I just like it. And they take their trunk and they spit out all the water they just drank.
I think it's a song title, actually. That's your next song.
Okay, elephant swearing. I don't know. It doesn't roll off the tongue so well, but I'll give it my best shot for you. Yeah. So no, and I'm thinking more about like this whole self-care notion. So one of the things I can attribute to my success is having done 12-step recovery and codependency. Because I was taking care of everyone, everywhere, all the time. And guess what that equals? Taking care of no one, because they didn't feel like I trusted them because I was doing for them what they could do for themselves. I was burned out, so I wasn't taking care of me. Everybody was resentful because I was making decisions and controlling it all. And they're like, so I thought, I'll go back now, I thought I was taking care of everyone all the time in every way. Right. So when I realized, the first question was, Misha, what makes you happy? And I'm like, oh my God, playing with my kids, going here, doing that. And they're like, Misha, what makes you happy? And I'm like, singing. When's the last time you sang? Probably 15 years ago. This was back in 2008. So, it's like developing a new awareness of who am I? What do I like? How can I nurture that? What does it really cost to do so? Well,
Yeah.
for me, for some of my clients, it's investing in a coach. It's having a teammate,
Right.
right? For other people, it's grabbing a sibling or a friend and saying, hey, go for a hike with me, but it's really about, little baby steps,
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
And lightening up a little bit. Laughing. I used to drop things, they'd break and I go, oh, that was stupid. Now, I think this is going to totally surprise you. I drop something and I giggle. Surprises you? No. The only time I don't giggle is when I hit my knee on the desk, and then I swear.
Yeah, that hurts. Yeah. Yeah, that hurts. It's so interesting. I've been dropping things a lot. I've been dropping glasses.
Like where?
No, like literal.
Glasses?
Yeah, in the last couple months, I've broken probably like 4 glass items, whether it was a drinking glass or a measuring cup. Yeah, and I looked up the symbolism and I was like, okay.
You really did?
I did. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is what
I'm make something up for you. I was getting ready. I was in my thinking mode.
Yeah.
You know what that means. So what did it mean? What did you find?
Actually, now I want you to kind of make something up, see if it was close to what
Well, but I told everybody I was making it up. So now they will know that what you looked up is authentic and what I'm going to share with them is authentically funny. No, I'm just kidding. We're both authentic.
So I looked it up and it was about essentially like shattering the illusion. So which you could, take anyway, shattering the illusion between worlds, shattering the illusion of what, you think life is about, so it's really like a wake up, which
so if I go to every house, I don't know if we're allowed to get political here, but if I go to every house where I see a political sign for a party I'm not in favor of, and I just bring a glass up to the front porch and I drop it, will it break their illusion? Does that work? Does that count, or is it my illusion?
Yeah, I think that's still you.
Oh.
It's gotta be, we all have to do our inner work.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotta come from within.
I kind of was having fun with that imagery, though. I could just see people's eyes going, what are you doing? Yeah. Anyways,
oh
that's really a lot of waste. Waste of time, waste of glass, waste of
yes, yeah. All the things. Although,
we got this. We're gonna keep going. We're
good. We are. Well, I was trying to. I just like really, Misha. I can't get over how closely we perceive our worlds. Number one, and part of that, we're here, collective conscious. That's part of it. And of course, you find your people and you connect with them in ways that you connect. And one of the things that you said that I love, and you just, you kind of skipped over it a little bit, but you said, whether you spend your money on a coach or something, it is really hard for people to invest in themselves, whether you're talking about a coach, a therapy, calling up a best friend, whatever. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've picked up my phone, when everything feels wrong, and I've texted a friend and like midway through just stopped. So I don't want to bother them, or like, and so
okay, yeah, finish that thought and then I have a question for you.
Yeah. So the thing that I love, among many, many things, is that when I took a step to invest in myself and my work, a whole new world of people was opened up to me, you included.
Yay, me!
I know. and to really realize that we aren't alone. We're not doing this work in a bubble, even though we're the ones that have to do the work. You can't do it for me.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
You can hold up a mirror
and pom-poms.
And
I won't wear the mini skirt, but pom-poms. Yep.
I'll take it.
I'm a tomboy, so pom-poms.
Yeah. I'll take it. But that, we don't know what kind of support is going to be out there for us until we're willing to invest in ourselves and the work. And I don't even like saying the word work, but it is work. It's some of the hard.
It's really work, but I think so. For me, what I was able to realize is that because of the work, I can play more now. I'm so less serious than I ever was, and not in an immature way. I mean, I genuinely play. I genuinely, authentically laugh. It is like in my core. I have reshifted my whole being. I've always been a somewhat idealistic and optimistic kind of person, but I literally am just enjoying different things more and more. I'm very authentically. And so the investment, the work is really critical. And I guess I would be curious to find out from people who are listening or watching, like, what is it that is holding people back from asking for help? Because I know for me, just like you said, picking up the phone and then like, I don't want to bother her, it was the feeling of being a burden, and it goes back to what you said in the beginning with the word TOO. I was told I was too emotional, not by all my parents, not by everybody, but
right. Yeah.
I was too emotional, too sensitive, but that my laughter made me, I actually lost a position to go and be a liaison in France at the beginning of, just before graduate school, because one of the professors on a board of 12 said I was immature. And my professors from my university were like, she laughs, she giggles, she's a happy person. And this person took it as me being immature. So too emotional, too, immature, too sensitive. And the reality is, it made me feel so much like a burden to other people that people didn't want me around them. And what I know is not true is that when I've asked somebody for help, they've been overjoyed. Oh, I'm so glad you called me. I would love to help. And vice versa. Renee, if you were to call, well, we did have a session together where I said, hey, I would love to help you. And you're like, wow, cool. And we had a fabulous time, right? Yeah. I mean, we laughed. There were some tears. We got through the work.
Yeah.
But it was a collaboration for your progression. And I progressed too. Yeah. And so people, I want to just remind people that people are waiting out there to be of support. Waiting. They want, it's a gift to be able to help you, as long as we help each other without sacrificing or jeopardizing our own well-being.
Right.
So it's like that fine line. Right?
Yeah, that's the key right there.
Right? We can say yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. It's got to balance out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be a maybe in the middle every once in a while. Just
maybe it's not going to be for a while.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. There's a bumper sticker, or maybe it's just a meme, or I don't know, something that says, today's not looking good for you, and tomorrow don't look so good either. Right. And so you can think about it as, today I say yes to Renee. Tomorrow I say no to whoever comes along. That poor person should not have been tomorrow. Maybe they wanted to wait another day before they ask. But whatever the balance is, I think it's critical that we allow people to help us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't know what that help looks like. I mean, just as an example, I was having a lot of feelings last week about something, and I just wanted to sit down, be next to my partner. And my partner didn't know that. I didn't know how to ask for it, and they didn't know what to ask me. And it ended up going lopsided. Well, 2 days ago, I was concerned. I thought my dad had something more serious. And so I was really emotional, and I was able to say, she said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "I just want to sit here and cry with you next to me." Mm. And she was just so sweet. She was right there with me.
Yeah.
So it's learning, the first time I didn't know. And because of that experience, she worked, I knew what to ask for the next time.
Yeah. And to not be afraid to ask for what you need instead of like relying on somebody else to figure it out or guess.
That always works. Assuming we know what that means makes an ass out of you and me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's really, so I'm just curious. If there are people out there that, I know there are people out there, but
there are, yes. And Amma's here. Hi, Amma.
Hey, Amma.
We've had a couple people watching, Tom and Cindy and Rachel. But yeah, Amma is, she is a beautiful human being as well. She's also music. She just says yes to shifting the whole being and tapping into authentic playfulness. I love that. Yeah. As well. And it's a great reminder for all of us that we don't have to take life so seriously. It really isn't that big of a deal, whatever it is. Some things are big deals, bigger deals. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, dropping that glass is not a big deal. Now, if I cut something.
It's an illusion, but no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's not. And I think that so my podcast, I call it Coexistence, Joy, Pain, and Truth. Ooh. They all exist together. There's no way to avoid them coexisting.
Right.
Right. So for me, on a larger scale, I'm finding the country to be a mess. I'm feeling fear and sadness and watching pain, people getting sick, people dying from COVID, racism. Like I'm seeing all this stuff that causes tremendous pain for an empath and for a lot of people. On my smaller scale, I'm happy. I'm in a new relationship that's beautiful. My children are healthy. I'm an adult empty nester. I have a career now that feels really fulfilling. And so both of those can coexist. I can give time to both.
Yeah.
But it's really about giving myself permission to feel the joy, even though there's this great pain out here.
Yes.
And then permission to feel the pain, even when maybe somebody else is feeling tremendous joy. Mm-hmm. But it's not sitting in either one. They're all temporary. Joy is temporary. Pain is temporary.
Yes. Yes. It's so true. And again, balancing that, right? Yeah. And everything is temporary no matter what. So you can't latch onto it. It can't be the only thing that exists or, what gives meaning.
Yeah. I think that some people, have you, I don't know if I shared this with you. I've shared it with a lot of people recently, but I saw somebody's back screen on a Zoom once, the word hope. And then underneath it was hold on, pain ends. Now, we can live with the notion of hold on, pain ends, or oh shit, when's the shoe gonna drop? When is the joy gonna end?
Yeah.
Where would you rather be?
Right.
I know the joy is gonna end because something's gonna come into being that's not fun. But I'd rather go, oh, I like this. And then go every once in a while when there's pain, hold on, I'm going to get back here to the joy. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Hold on, pain ends.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that one down.
Write it down, girl. Quick before you forget.
I know.
If we're anything alike. I wanted to mention, this is not like a big part of my, it's not a program. I have a 3-month bi-weekly group that I have. And so it's just 3 months. So we meet, how much times is that? 6 times. I can do math, 2 times a month, 6 times. But it's called Jump Into Joy. And basically it's just a community group that we just get together, and it's people sign in for, it's 12 people for 3 months, and then 12 people for 3 months, and 12 people. But it's about really diving into that joy and learning how to notice that there's joy. So I just want to mention that because we're on the topic of,
yes,
the joy.
That's beautiful. I said this morning, I wish I wake up grumpy. And not always, but I'm noticing, right, that I'm waking up that way. And part of it for me is that I dream so like vividly, and it just the transition back into like reality from the dream world is hard.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it, but
you're not the only one.
No.
No, you're not. Anybody else out there? Hello? Do you guys wake up grumpy sometimes? Yeah. I mean, this last week I woke up grumpy. I was clenching my teeth. Thank goodness I have a mouth guard. But I mean, like, I was clenching my teeth and I realized what's going on. And I know what's going on. I don't need to explain it anymore.
I know. Yeah. We are in a collective stress ball.
Yes. But at the same time, what I'm hearing from you is that you're aware of it, which means you don't always wake up grumpy. Right. It's a temporary place. Again, temporary.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's really the biggest thing about working with people who are, I mean, I have suffered from mental illness, people who are suicidal. One of my sons lost a very, very, very close friend to suicide when they were in high school. And it's really important to get that notion that it does end, the pain does end.
Yeah.
And so, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Yep.
But our system isn't designed to help with all these mental health concerns and issues and challenges. And so we as individuals, as we start to build our internal collective alignment, we emanate that to others. And when, we can emanate it, then people start to feel it and work towards themselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
I know as a teacher, you do a lot of that with your students.
I do. Well, and I was that quote you just said, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That's something that I have said on multiple occasions to students throughout the years.
Yeah. And it's really important to talk about it, just like we're doing now. And whatever people are watching, whatever you're feeling, to name it, right? So I have this thing, it's called, you're aware of it, so you need to acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, you need to say it aloud. Once you say it aloud, work into acceptance. Once you're in acceptance, go into action. Right?
Love it.
So if we don't name it, it's going to be sitting inside of us. It's going to be building up its toxicity, and it's going to rip us apart. Was that graphic enough? Rip us apart.
But you're not wrong. It does. It can just tear apart that's what dis-ease is, right? It's just that stuff gets stuck in the body and it just can, wreak havoc. So getting it out, naming it, being able to, and for me, that's a lot of what music is. And I would assume the same for you, is that it's a way for us to move those emotions, the joy and the pain.
That's right.
Through and out. Yeah. And then, when you share your music, whether we like it or not, when you share
it, of course you'll like it.
But it allows it to move in other people too.
Right. Exactly.
It's the thing. Well, before we end here, I do want you to talk a little bit about your 9-month program, because I'm so intrigued by it, and I want to make sure that all our listeners out there, either live or on the replay, can get a sense of, or just a tidbit into the amazing work that you do. And you do a lot of wonderful things. I mean, you have a podcast, you do one-on-one coaching, you have some shorter programs, and then this 9-month program. The voice from the heart. Did I say that? Yeah,
Voice,
voice from the heart.
voice from heart. Yeah.
Um,
And it aligns with, heartstring tuning and healing and, finding our voice, right? That alignment. So it's actually, what's funny is it seems almost simplistic, but it's essential. And so this
it
program,
always is.
right? I mean, keep it simple, sister. Kiss me. Oh, I mean, don't kiss me, but kiss yourself. And I don't want to negate or dismiss the men out there. I mean, these are totally, I'm happy to do one-on-ones, just getting to know people. But if I'm not the right person, I'll have referrals. I want to pass people on to, where they can best have their needs met, just like you and everyone else. So, but my 9-month program right now is based on working with lesbian, bisexual, queer, and trans identified women. And it's basically 3 trimesters. So the first trimester we focus, well, they can rearrange themselves depending on when a person starts in the year. But the first trimester is basically the opportunity to dive into self-care and self-love and self-compassion. And we do a lot of work. We talk about different habits, and we do a lot of work on establishing a routine that can nurture that's developing self-care and self-love. As they're nurturing that self-love, we walk into the second trimester, which is about maneuvering through one's own malicious messaging to better our belief system. And so, if you've got beliefs like, when I would drop a glass, I'd call myself stupid. That's not such a good belief system because I'm not stupid. I never was stupid. And so that's a malicious message that I'm giving myself. And so being able to transform that, like we talked about earlier, where now I giggle because it's like, oh, I guess the glass wanted to be one with the floor. I mean, those are the things I tell myself now, because it wasn't because I was stupid that I dropped a glass. What people don't know, maybe that are listening, is I have chronic pain. And every once in a while, I cannot use my hands as well as I would like. I have physical pain from my ankles all the way up, and the pain level never goes. I mean, the pain never goes. It's usually anywhere from a level 1 to a level 10, sometimes a 12, where I'm at bed rest. But I keep going. So the second trimester is super, super critical because we're taking that self-care, self-love piece and we're moving it into really raising ourselves up. Not the ego. We're not raising our ego. We're raising our confidence and our esteem. So that by the third trimester, which is really cool as far as I'm concerned, you get to still do one-on-one coaching with me, but now there's a community component with all the people that have been in the program with me for that year. So that 9 months, those women will be in a collective group together once a month for those last 3 months. And again, if people come in, like say somebody starts in November, they would then start that community trimester 4 months in, as opposed to somebody who started in August. Sure. But it's all, I love my program.
I'm sitting here going,
You're not, I don't think you're a lesbian, right?
No. That might be the only.
But I could maybe do a different group for heterosexuals or cisgender. You're so funny. Does your husband know you're leaving? I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people out there who've lost their loved ones because of, anyway. So,
things change. People grow.
They do.
And it's all right.
Yeah. But it's been so far just a really beautiful and nourishing and fulfilling journey for me. And I love getting the feedback of the women that I work with. And I will say I don't change a whole lot of who I am for people anymore. And so when a person doesn't feel like I'm the right fit, I give them referrals to go to find the right person for them. Yeah. It's not personal anymore.
Right.
And that's where I want my women to go, is to realize if somebody comes into their life on a romantic level and they're like, no, this isn't working, that it's not like, if that person says to you, it's not working, that it's not always personal. It's not always about us.
Well, and even in the relationship, it's not personal and about us. Even when you stay in the relationship, that's
everybody has their own shit.
Yep. Yep. And it's just figuring out how, to do the dance with it, and in a way that isn't destructive for you or the other person.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely about finding ways to create your own safety and be able to communicate in a respectful and safe way.
Yeah.
But you have to love yourself first.
You do. True.
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
Woo! I love you too.
Because you are amazing. And yeah,
Oh, wait, I got a text message. Let me see what it says. Oh, okay. I can't share that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was kidding. I think I said something about a priority. So she's teasing me. She's watching us, everybody. She is watching.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. This has been so much fun. It's always a joy to speak to you, even when we're talking about the hard stuff. You know, everything isn't funny or fun, but that's the, but you can, as you were saying, you can have both. You can have both the joy and the pain and ride the waves of it all.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. And I think that I guess just to wrap up, to say that anybody watching or listening, I know with Renee and I know with myself, we're both really good coaches, and the majority of coaching is listening, and it's really hearing what a person is feeling, experiencing, needing, and not a whole hell of a lot of advice giving, but providing tools so people can walk through their pain, not try to skirt it, not to dance around it, not to push it down or avoid it. So yeah, would love to hear from people. And if there are people watching who are not lesbians, bisexual, transgender, gay identified, or and all of those identified women. I am, by the way, I forgot to mention, I am a lesbian. And I'm happy and proud to say that. It took me a lot of years to come out. But if you know people who are struggling right now, especially with the pandemic, who are feeling heartbroken or isolating, and they could use some extra support, feel free to pass my name on. Renee and I will make sure the contact information is there.
So. Absolutely. Yep. I'll put all those links and things in our Facebook post. Thank you so much for being here. We will turn off the live, but you can hang on with me for just a second.
I will.
Yes. Thank you everybody for joining us either live or on the replay. We appreciate you. Do something kind to yourself, for yourself today.
Hey, let them define it the way they need to, Renee. Why so controlling? Do something kind to yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Be nice.
Just be good to you. And on that note, I'm going to